Hi friends, today we're doing a tribute to the fair. And when we think of the fair, we think of all the great fair foods. And today I have one fair food that I am doing, but I'm going to turn it into two dishes, one sweet and one savory. The one sweet is probably what you're used to. So go ahead and stay tuned today to see what fun fair food we're going to do. So here in Washington State, this is the last weekend for the fair. We have our state fair here in Puyallup, Washington, and if you don't get a chance to go to the fair, you still can have fun fair food at your house. Now today we're going to make like a funnel cake or elephant ears, fried dough. Depends on what part of the country. I know everybody calls it something a little bit different. I'm used to calling fried dough, but I've been in some states where they call it elephant ears. But we're basically taking fried pizza dough and we are going to make some tasty treats. Now, the one treat is the typical. Most places in the country will use confectionery powdered sugar topping with a little bit of butter. And some people go ahead and use like a granulated sugar with some cinnamon. They'll put some nice butter on, melted butter on the top of the fried dough, and then put that nice cinnamon sugar. Gives them the nice little crunchy flavor. And you can also put jam on there too. So I have one that you might not be used to. So right now, I'm gonna wait on that. But right now I've got some oil heating up, and I have coconut oil. I really recommend peanut oil, but I have made it before with coconut oil. It's just, I've been looking all over the stores lately, and I've tried several stores, and they haven't had peanut oil. I don't know what's up with that. But a vegetable oil would be great. The thing about, you want oil that has a high smoke rate. So we're gonna start these. We've got this heating up. I have it on probably medium low right now. And you're just gonna buy some pizza dough from your local grocery market. It's usually in the section where they'll have the pizza toppings, have the pizza dough, your like luncheon meats. Usually that's where it is the most. And I'm just getting, they're about a pound. And I've got two here. Now, if you have small little mouths to feed, say you're doing this for a fun little birthday party, and you're doing it for kids, you want to make smaller ones. I tend to make a little bit bigger ones, because my kids, they love these, and they're bigger. Well, they're grown now, but when they were bigger, they would eat these, and I would make it a good size. So I usually cut this into threes, but this one, for the sweet one, I'm going to cut into four. Now I've seen different people do it different ways. So, and you want this, sometimes when you get this in the grocery store, it's frozen, so just let it thaw out in your fridge. So I got nice these are going to be plenty big enough. Matter of fact, maybe I'll just see some of this and add to this, because we want to just do a taste test. This I'm really doing for demonstration, but I am going to do the other one for eating tonight. Well, this is for eating too, but so 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm trimming off. You can make these any size you want. These are so fun and so simple. So you just take your dough, and you can use the palm of your hand, and if you want, you can use your rolling pin. Now, some people recommend don't play with the dough too much. It's lighter and airier. So we're just going to go ahead and get these all prepped, because It only takes a couple of minutes for these to cook up. So let's do that part. And this is kind of fun. And, you know, you can get the kids involved. This is kind of fun and therapeutic. But like I said, this is great for if you're having a kid's birthday party or the kids are, you know, are having a sleepover party. This is a fun little treat. So I'm going to tell you what the second one is now. I grew up in a town called East Haven in Connecticut, and we always had this kind of fried dough in our little church picnic, church fairs or carnivals. Oh, it's fried dough pizza. Yes, I don't know. I've gone to other states. I've lived in other states. And when they hear that, they scrunch up their nose. They're like, fried dough pizza? They're like, no, 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 no. You have to have it with powdered sugar. But see, how I started out having this little treat is with pizza dough. So that's what I knew for the norm. So, like I said, I've lived in I've lived in Georgia. I lived in Tennessee. I've lived in Hawaii. I lived in Texas. I lived in upstate New York for years, and I haven't heard anybody say they heard of that. So if you're from another state and you're like, oh yeah, girlfriend, I've heard of that before, go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know. So you're just going to stretch those out. And you want it somewhat in a roundish or ovalish type of, and how you test your oil. I'm going to get a little close up just so you can see this better. So give me a moment. Okay. You can just take a little pinch of flour, and that is more than ready. So get your tongs ready and get a plate that you're going to, once you cook these up, you want to put them on a plate. Now, one thing I do sometimes if I'm making a lot of these, I will go ahead and put the oven on like a warm or 200, and then just put them in a, you know, as I cook them and they get done, I put them in a pan so that they can stay warm and I can serve them all at once. So you're just going to take that and gently put it in the oil. I'm going to put it on for a minute. And I really have had this heating up pretty good for a little while before I turn the camera on. But you can see that bubbling up. And sometimes you'll have these big air bubbles in there. That's okay. That's what you want. This one is getting a little bit of hole. So I'm going to go ahead and just and you definitely don't want to leave the stove when you do this. So I think I'm going to make 4 of the sweet ones, and then we'll have 4 of the ones for the pizza dough. Or maybe I'll have a little tiny one so I can, we'll see. We got about 3 seconds. And just very carefully, because that oil, make sure you don't get any water near this. Yeah, that looks really pretty good. Can you see that pretty good? And I'll just leave the camera like this because you can see it better. So I'm using this silicone mat, and you just want to dust that with a little bit of flour so you can work with this. Doesn't stick to your hands. It's pretty good. The ends sometimes will be a little fatter, so I just stretch that out. And did I put that back on? No, I didn't. Let's hit a minute, but I will know to check it in less than a minute. So yeah, just going to make up a bunch of these. I'll show you a couple of ideas with the sugar. And oh, I've got a couple of pats of butter. I've got salted. You could use unsalted, and you're gonna melt that for the sweet ones that you make. This is a very inexpensive treat. You know, like if you're throwing a birthday party, or you could do this for, you know, game night, um, having a sporting event gathering. So there you go. But we did this for about a minute. And you can, oh, let me cancel that. All right, let's get another one in there. They taste best fresh. I have had leftovers and we've eaten them the next day. But they're the best when they're fresh. So in a moment, I'm going to move my camera. I'm going to fry up this next one, and then I'll move my camera and show you what we can do with some of the sugars. But yeah, this is, you know, like I said, this ball of dough are like $1.98 or $2.98, something like that. So you can get several of these little fried doughs. Oh, I forgot to set that timer. Yeah, you're going to get really a good deal. And especially, you know, if your friends have never tried the pizza one, you don't have to, you know, you can do some sweet and try some savory, try it out. Try it on, you know, a couple of your close friends and family and see if they're willing to, because some people will not deviate from it. Our church had, we had a community, well, we threw a fair for our community at our church grounds for the neighborhood, and I did a food booth with another gal in the church, and I'm like, oh, let's do this fried dough, and I was telling her about the fried dough pizza, and she was like looking at me kind of weird, and I said, no, you'll love it, but she suggested having the other too because, you know, that's what people expect. So that's what we did. We did both, and it took a while for get the Washingtonians to try the pizza dough. So, but I'm telling you, once you try it, I think you're gonna love it. Oh, let's get this before we don't want us to go too long. Definitely. Now that still needs a little bit longer. And sometimes you're putting, if your dough is still kind of cold, it's going to change the temperature of your oil. I broke my thermometer for checking the oil temperature so I'm just kind of winging it. I've done this quite a few times, so let me put my timer on. There we go. But let me show you the sugar mixture, what you can do. So what I do, this is my favorite one. If I have it sweet, here, let me get in the shot a little bit. If I make it for a sweet treat, this is my favorite. I like just to use granulated sugar. I got about a quarter of a cup. Now this is a cinnamon sugar I already made before that I was using, and you're just going to use a couple teaspoons or so of cinnamon, and I got to get more cinnamon when I go out. We use a lot of cinnamon at our house too. I'm going to do 3, so that was a whopping 3. We put cinnamon on our oatmeal, on our toast, and just give that a good stir. Smells good. This is my favorite way to eat when I eat it sweet, is with the cinnamon sugar, and I have some melted butter on there. So let's check that. See, this moves all very quick. Now, probably the oil amount I have in here is a little over 2 inches of oil. And this one will probably cook up. This is smaller, so. Gentle, gentle. So now with this one, you can do like a vanilla sugar. Let me turn my camera again. So let's do like a vanilla sugar. So I'm going to take a little bit of this powdered sugar and I'm just going to squirt. This is a vanilla paste. I'm going to probably like put a whole teaspoon in there. But yeah, this is like a vanilla extract bean paste, pure vanilla bean paste. And then we'll just kind of slowly mix that in. I mean, if you already buy vanilla sugar, you can do that and have it like that. You know, the granulated sugar, coconut sugar, it's going to give you that little bit of a crunchy taste or texture. Yeah, and that's all you really need to do. It just gives it something a little. The last batch I made, I used sugar in the raw, and that was a little bit too crunchy, I feel like, on the sweet ones. And there you go. There you go. And you can use all kinds of jams. When we threw our fair at our church, we had different jams and preserves for people to use. Now, I feel like this is cooled down a little bit, the oil, so I'm just turning it up just a little bit. I'll put a little bit more flour on here. Oh, I'm gonna know. One. Now, when you get these at the fair or the carnival, they always put them on a paper plate, and they usually make a pretty good sized one that when you go there. But you can do it however you want. At your house, at your party. Actually, this could be a fun little, I know Rosh Hashanah's coming up. I know I believe they do fried foods. Well, that might be Hanukkah. But I don't think they give up leaven for Rosh Hashanah. You know what? I cannot remember. But, so this could be a fun little Rosh Hashanah treat. That's coming up. Yeah, I like my rolling pin. It gives me a little head start. And stretch, stretch. Like your mother said, don't play with your food, but this food you can play with. All right. So let's heat up our oil. I'm going to take this off the heat for a moment. And let's get our pot holders because that pan is going to be hot. Let's melt our butter. I'm going to clean up the stove while I'm waiting for that. And you want to be very careful not to get any water in that oil because that will splatter and spit at you and could get hurt. We don't want that. That's the only thing about the frying part. You could have the kids, you want to get the kids involved, they can roll it out, but unless they're older, I wouldn't let them put their pizza dough. Now let me get a plate. I've got a plate for trying our sweet ones. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here while we're doing a taste test on that. Timer for 1 minute. All right, and the butter is nice and melted. Let's get one of our, and we're going to just take a silicone brush. You can take a spoon if you don't have it, and let's just, while that's still warm, just like I said, these are the best when they're warm, and we're going to give it a nice good coating of butter. Let's set that aside. Let's take some half of it we're going to do with our vanilla sugared. I meant to not put it on so thick. Now funnel cakes, the way funnel cakes are a little bit different because you'll have this pitcher that has a small spout on it, and you drizzle that along, and that gives you like little pieces of it. That's what's a funnel cake. And let's get our cinnamon sugar, which is my favorite. Let's put half of that on there. You know what? A good coating. All right. Time to flip. There we go. All right, so let's test this out. Oh, we don't want to burn ourselves. I'm going to cut this in half. That looks fun, a half and half. We could start a new trend at the fair, right? Say, I'll have a half and half. You know, I was just thinking too, what could taste really yummy, like a lemon powdered sugar or lemon sugar. Doesn't that sound good? All right, so which one do we want to try? I'm going to try the powdered sugar one because I know I totally will love this. It's a little hot, but this is how it looks like. Nice and fluffy. Oh my gosh. That was so good. With the butter. You can't forget the butter. That's really good. Okay, let's check on this. You know, this would taste great with a cup of coffee. All right, I should have got one all rolled out. Too busy tasting that with that vanilla sugar. That's good. I've heard of some people too putting a little bit of nutmeg, just a tiny bit of fresh ground nutmeg, nutmeg in their powdered sugar. Oop, got a little hole. It's definitely got to stretch it out. That one's being a little stubborn. All right, let's put that in here. Oh, I feel like I could put that oil down just a little bit. I'm going to get a couple of more made out so that when that's right ready, we can just get it right in the oil. Really, once you get to be a pro with this take you like a half an hour. So if you figure 2 minutes per And we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 made. This is number 6. We got 6, 7, 8. So that's almost about 20 minutes. So you got time to do prep. It's going to take you definitely under an hour. Roll out. I think this batch is a little thicker, but if you tear on it, just re-stick some more dough on there, on the hole. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm getting a little bit too rough with that. Let's turn that over. That's been over a minute. All right, let's try this cinnamon and sugar. I think it needs a tad. I always say it needs more cinnamon. That's good though. I'm gonna put a tad more cinnamon. Now I did a whopping tablespoon in that quarter cup. So it's really to taste. That's good too. But with a sauce, that's my favorite way. One thing too is you notice I let it drip a little bit so you don't have oil, that oil, it's not sopped with oil. Let's do this bigger one. That one's, I think, going to take a little bit longer. So, cinnamon sugar, powdered sugar. What's my choice today? You know what? I like it with the vanilla and the powdered sugar. I'm feeling that today. If you have a fall harvest party, you can make these. I was saying to my daughter always, when it's her birthday, when she was growing up as a kid, I would ask the kids, what do you want for your birthday dinner? And my daughter would always say, fried dough pizza. And so I was talking to her, I'm like, I want to come up with a different idea for a sauce for this fried dough pizza. And I'm actually thinking about like a sage pumpkin puree sauce and do some like caramelized onions and some roasted garlic, and then maybe putting a little bit of feta cheese or a little goat cheese. I don't know. That's like very gourmet. What do you think? Oh, we gotta let this be. She was like, I could try it. She goes, I could see what you're saying. We're gonna put our last pizza dough in there. Set the timer. And we're gonna heat up our sauce. Just get your favorite pizza sauce. You can do regular tomato sauce if you don't have pizza sauce. I've done it both ways. I like it best with pizza sauce, or you can make your own homemade pizza sauce. So we're going to get that in the microwave. Got a few more seconds. So I've got some Parmesan Reggiano cheese that we're going to use, that fresh grated, and let's put that in the sink. And you don't have to even use a silicone mat. You can use parchment paper, and it'll be easy cleanup. I'll wait a few more seconds. Flip that over. Turn my sauce off. I heard it's buttering in the microwave. I just cleaned out, gave that microwave a good thorough cleaning. Now I'll have all this sauce I'll have to clean off. So we've had about eight or nine of these out of 2 pounds of dough. You might think, you know what, that's too big. I need it smaller. You can make them any size you want. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this fun fair food. And if you want to see more fun fair foods, I did corn dogs last fall. But you could, if you subscribe to my channel, you can go ahead and see the corn dogs. I made them gluten-free, which if you've watched me at all, you know I have a couple of grandkids that have celiac. So I'm learning more and more recipes for gluten-free. So if that's something you like, go ahead and let me know in the comments if you want to see more gluten-free. So I try to find ways to incorporate. Now, this is not gluten-free. I probably need to learn to do a pizza crust, but for them. But there's a lot of other things they get. So I'm gonna let that drip, and I'm gonna reach for my plate. But yeah, you can see that corn dogs. And they were pretty tasty, let me tell you. So give that a watch. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And you'll get to see all my videos. I do a lot of everyday meals, special events. Let's turn this off. And now we've got the fall coming up. I'm gonna be doing a lot of fall type of recipes. I like to do something special for celebrations. And also, we are going to be getting ready for Thanksgiving. That's another thing. If you check out my videos, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to prep and get ready for Thanksgiving. I'm just taking this pizza sauce and just spreading it on there, and we're going to let this cool a little bit because this is going to be piping hot. But let me tell you, friends, when you try this, you're going to be like, where have you been all my life? You just got to get it out of your mind. It's not going to be sweet, and it's okay, and you're going to be okay. So we're going to take our Parmesan Reggiano and grate that over there. You can use the already shredded kind, but I like this the best. And put as much as you want. This is the Connecticut way. If you are watching from Connecticut, give me a shout out, because we know about this and we love it. My cousin just recently posted. Her and her family were serving at their church, and this is where you get it at the church carnival. That's where it goes down. That's where it all happens. So we're going to let this cool a second. But while I'm letting that cool, I do want to let you know that I will be doing a lot of videos on how to get you ready for Thanksgiving. We're going to be doing side dishes, appetizers, some hacks to shorten your time, the make head meals, the things that you can do a few days out before Thanksgiving to make it as stress-free as possible. And also, I have an ebook coming out very, very soon, and that's 7 steps how to have a stress-free Thanksgiving dinner. So keep your eye out for that because that's going to be free to you. So you can use that in conjunction with my videos. Hopefully that'll be a great help. So this has cooled down a little bit. I'm going to get a couple of shots before we bite into it. This has been cooling down enough for us to try it. Let's see. I already know that I'm going to love it. Oh, that's yummy. So let me tell you, let me give you the 411. This dough is nice and crispy. I don't know if you can see the little layers in there, the pockets of air, the crispiness and that. Mmm, that is a good savory pizza. Don't knock it till you try it. So I'm gonna go sit down. Maybe I'll watch a movie. Maybe I'll edit a video. I probably will edit this tonight. Who am I kidding? Anyway, hey, I hope you enjoyed the journey of me sharing my fun uh, fair food segment here. We'll see what we can come up with next year. I am working on a um, fried Snickers bar, I forget what else I did. I did a couple candy bars and some Oreos. I'm just tweaking out some of my batter. Um, I could have used the batter from the corn dogs, but um, I'm just tweaking it a little bit. So, but maybe that will be next year. See you next time.